Welcome back. In this video, you will see how you can easily analyze your ideal market segments, niches, and buyer personas, and use that to create highly tailored and targeted messages that will directly resonate with your ideal clients and help you attract, convince, and convert them to happy paying clients. Because that's what it's all about, right? Okay, so in today's video, we will be looking at the part buyer personas. That is the first step in the analysis phase of Get It Out now. So kudos if you've made it so far. And just as a quick heads up, in case you've skipped the input part here at the top, again, perfectly fine. But now, as soon as you will build those benefits and go into more detail, Get It Out will actually need the input. So please go back to these earlier stages, especially to the product and features. And again, here's a quick video at the top where you can see how to actually do that. So today we'll go to phase number 2. Again, here, if you click that, you get this nice overview of what actually is going on. And we will be looking at your buyer personas. So maybe as a quick intro, what are buyer personas or why do you need them? Well, bear with me. Let's make an example. Let's say you're a real estate agent offering real estate services. So you might say, hey, well, I help people find their ideal house. What can there be, right? Can I sell this to everyone? Well, let's have a look. What different clients might come to you as a real estate agent? Well, there might be the first-time home buyer that has never owned a home, like a young family, for example. So this might be one type of client. So what does this client actually need in this case? Well, they've never bought a home, so they might feel insecure. They don't know much about that. Maybe as it's a young family, they don't know how to make the down payment. So they need special advice for finance, right? We already see this is a very special type of client and already has its first sort of challenges or questions. But again, being a real estate owner, you might also have investors that already own 5, 10 or 20 properties and are looking to expand and buy more properties. Now, if we compare this investment client to the first-time home buyer, you immediately see that these are very different. The investment buyer who already owns 10 houses, well, that's a professional. He or she already knows the ins and outs of real estate. So they need something else. They want proper consulting. They are looking for investment opportunities, for return on investment, etc. So their problems, desires, aspirations are very different to those from the first-time home buyer. And this is the power of buyer personas. Yes, in this example of a real estate agency, the service or the product is the same. It's helping people find good places, good houses, good apartments, good buildings. The main service stays the same. But the service looks very differently from the perspective of different possible clients. So this first-time home buyer, this young family looking to settle down, if you just try walking in their shoes, you immediately see what they might be worried about. Can I pay the mortgage? What happens if I miss out on a payment, right? Lots of questions arising. If you can help them with that in your services, you will have gained a happy lifetime client. On the other hand, the institutional clients, you can't bother them with these basics, right? They might get annoyed. So the idea behind having different buyer personas is to look, what are, first of all, possible clients of yours that might be generally interested in your product or service, and then look if there are different groups or buckets of these ideal clients, which in marketing speak we call buyer personas. So that's a quick summary. If you have more questions on that, please drop a comment down below, because I know buyer personas are a difficult topic and there's lots more to find. We also have written a detailed blog post about that we'll also link down in the description. So let's have a look at how this actually works in Get It Out. So again, this is now the start of phase 2, the analysis. You would click on buyer personas and here you are. So first of all, if you're just starting out, it's more than okay to start with just one buyer persona. You can always add more buyer personas later. Of course, as your business grows, as your experience grows, as you talk to more clients and get a better feeling of how these might fit into different buckets or groups, you can add 3, maybe 5 different buyer personas to then tailor all your marketing materials specifically to these buyer personas, because that's the goal. So let's have a look at our example buyer persona of this antivirus tool, which is Sam, small business owner. So I click on the details button here, and this is how that looks like. So at the top we have demographic information, and this is basically an estimate of in what age bracket you think these clients are. Are they predominantly male or female? What's their education? Like, are they highly educated, maybe even have a PhD? So if we click the edit button here, we can see the details. So first of all, you name your buyer persona. And here, big tip, usually we had this, I was always talking about this first-time home buyer. So this might be Frank, first-time buyer. So what works very nicely is if you pick a name and then you add this main description. Like here I have a small business owner as one of this demo buyer persona. So it's Sam, small business owner. Frank, first-time buyer. Ivan, institutional investor, right? These might be great names for your buyer personas. Then GETitOUT gives you these nice sliders here. So for example, someone, if you're like in the university area, you might be targeting people that have either a master's degree or a PhD. So these sliders here, you can actually move both of these bullets here, right? Or someone might be, as we had here, from between primary and bachelor. Job seniority is another interesting thing. Like, are they more entry-level positions, a trainee, or are they already managing other people? And when you hover here, you get these little explanations, like a manager would be managing other entry and senior employees, or director might be managing other managers. You get the explanation. By really thinking hard about these demographics, what happens is that you get a much better and clearer picture of your future potential clients, right? It's much easier for you to walk in their shoes because you can imagine how their life looks like, how their day looks like, how their worldview looks like. So this part of GETitOUT here really helps you walk in their shoes and understand them, feel what it's all about. Income, rather straightforward. So what would be their personal income that they have available. And now here's something really interesting. And I would challenge you to really put some effort into these fields, job titles and industries. Because GETitOUT will directly use these fields later when automatically generating your texts. So the job titles, you can just jump in there and let's say CEO, and then you see we have this nice suggestion list of job titles that you can add. But don't feel restricted by these suggestions here. Let's say I need a sales director, and you see we have lots of sales titles here, but there is no sales director. But if many of your clients would call themselves sales director, then you can just type this in, hit the tab button on your keyboard, and then you have added sales director. So you're not restricted by the suggestions we have. Second tip is start with the most common, most frequently used job title first, and then add less frequently used job titles after that. Again, GETitOUT will directly use these. And let me show you an example. Here, this is it's not on this one. Okay, I'm going to show you later. So when these texts are generated, GETitOUT would put things like, if you're a small business owner or founder, why not do this and that? So these job titles get directly reflected in your texts. So it really makes sense to stop for a few minutes and think, what would be the job titles that your clients handed you over on their business cards, for example, or if you look on a few LinkedIn profiles of potential clients, what job titles are they using there? And then add maybe 3 to 5 or 3 to 10 job titles for a buyer persona. But very important, start with the most frequent one first and then going down in frequency of use. So that's the job title. And with industries, it's similar. So if you are in B2B, then you can add the different industries this buyer persona would usually be in, again with the most frequent one first. Okay, now a few more details which are rather easy, so just to get a rough feeling of male-female comparison, right? Whereas the majority is just like software programmers, and there might unfortunately be 80% men in that buyer persona's target group, or if it's more 50-50, or if it's a female-dominated buyer persona. Age bracket and children, and is it like singles or couples? Again, GETitOUT doesn't really use these elements to generate your texts. These are more meant to give you that feeling of who this person, who this client of yours is, so you can really connect, create trust and rapport with them, because this is what will ultimately help you gain a happy paying client. Okay, so once you've nailed all that, just click the save button and things are saved. Oh, I almost forgot on one important detail here. Let's click on edit again. You can choose a picture of your buyer persona. And this will be of huge help because it helps you visualize that buyer persona whenever you have someone on the phone in a sales call, but also when creating marketing materials. You can literally picture that client and have him on your mind. So just click the upload new image link, and then you can either upload an image that you might already have, or again make use of our stock photos library here. And you see the main job title was small business owner, so GETitOUT automatically shows you examples of, well, here, different small business owners. Cool, right? Okay, just to finish that off. So that's the demographics here at the top. Now comes the second really interesting part down here, which is pains and goals. So you see these two columns we have here. Pains, this would be daily challenges, pain points, things they struggle with, that buyer persona struggles with in their daily personal or business life. On the contrary, goals are like what they want to achieve, aspirations, maybe even dreams. So the big question is, what would you put in here, right? So let's take a quick step back. Why are pains and goals so important? The quick version is, your clients don't care about you. Your clients don't care about your product or services. Sounds harsh, I know, but what do they care about? Well, they care about what's in it for them. They care about how your product or service can make their life better, can save them time, can make them more money, right? So when building your marketing foundation, one of the best things you can do is shift your perspective away from you, away from your product and services, towards your clients and how you can help them make money, save time, live a happier life, get more peace of mind, whatever that might be. And this is why it's so important to understand their daily pains and struggles and to know which goals, dreams, and aspirations they have. So let's go back and let's start with the pains, which is like if you want to start building a new buyer persona, this is where you start. And here in the pains section, you would just click the plus button, and then you can describe the pain in a few words and then also give a larger description of a pain. So now here we have the small business owner. So what pains are there? Well, hiring freelancers might be a pain. So your question, you might be asking yourself, but well, is this pain actually relevant to my product or service? Should I put any pain in there? How does that work? Well, very good question. This is still the research phase of GETitOUT. So you can just throw in all the main pain points, all the main struggles you find. And in the next step, which I will show you in the next video, which is the benefit assistant, we will then see which of these pains and goals we can actually connect to your features and services to create those benefits that help out your clients. So here, don't worry too much if you can actually help out with these pains and goals, just put them all in. The bigger, the larger these pain points, the better. Of course, they might be in the general area of your business, right? That might be useful, but don't just stick to technical parts. So let's say you offer a website builder software. Then the client's pain would not be, I want to build websites, or website builders suck, or website builders are hard to use. Yeah, it's kind of a pain, but this is nothing that keeps them up at night. This is nothing that they would spend lots of money on. A real pain would be, let's say, there's an advertising agency and they need to build 100 websites and they can't meet their clients' deadlines and the clients get annoyed and they don't pay the invoices. Now we're getting into the pains area, right? So true pains might be, hey, I can't meet my clients' deadlines. My clients don't pay me. The quality isn't good and I can't attract more clients, right? These are true pains that really make people take action. Pains that would keep people up at night, right? So here in this case for my small business owners, so hiring freelancers might be a pain, and then you can describe this pain in a full sentence. So it's time consuming to find and hire high quality freelancers on a regular basis, something like that. So the pain could be maybe 2 to 6 words, very short description, and then you can elaborate on it for maybe 1 to 2 sentences. And then you say it. Right? This is how you add pains. And so in terms of search, you would start with adding maybe 10 to 20 pains. But if you really want to build a great marketing foundation, then I got a challenge for you. Add 20 to 40 pains. Sounds a lot, and it is a lot, but the thing is that it's always easy to just find these 5 typical pains of, hey, the small business owner, not enough money, want to grow my business, etc. That's easy to find, but you won't get very far with these. You really need to take one more step and dig deeper. And the exercise of really trying to find 40 pains will open your mind, will open your perspective. And I've seen great results when people do that, because you really discover many big things, medium things, small things that annoy and nag your clients. And then you can position your product, of course, as the solution later, right? That's the whole idea. So challenge for you, add 40 pains. And then very same thing goes for goals. Goals often communicate with your pains. So if someone is worried about financial stability, of course, they might have a dream of either financial stability, but well, nobody would say, I want financial stability. They would say, hey, I don't want to worry about money. I don't want to have to think about money. I want to be able to buy whatever I want, right? So goals, aspirations, dreams. And again, same challenge for you. Look to find 40 different ones to really find the more intricate, more interesting ones. And once you got these in, maybe let them rest for a day and then come back and order them in terms of urgency, in terms of importance. So which of these pains is the most pressing one, the most painful one? And then you just use these little drag and drop anchors here and really bring them into order. And that's a very important step, because GETitOUT will always use these pains and goals automatically, of course, when generating your materials, but it will use them in the order of importance, of urgency, of impact that you have attributed to them. So after collecting them, just move them up and down, and in the end, if you decide, hey, I really can't help with that pain, this is completely out of realm, then you just delete that. So Maybe you ask yourself, well, how can I surface those pains and goals? Where can I find them? Well, there's a few strategies you can use to do that. First of all, if you already have a few clients, just think back to the conversations you had with them, or just pick up the phone. You might have a few really close clients that love working with you. Just pick up the phone, call them, and have a chat. Try to find out what keeps them up at night, pains, and what they want to achieve. There's also a nice questionnaire we have for these client interviews, which is again linked down here in the video description. So that's one easy thing, interview. But there's also a treasure trove of information online. So let's say your buyer persona would be small business owners. Well, you can just look out for Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, where these would hang out. You join that group, and then you just look, what questions do people ask? What do they express? And all the questions they ask, well, these are usually related to problems like how can I hire people? How can I improve my billing system? Whatever that might be. So Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, Quora, sites where people are asking questions. That's a great place. Another great place is reviews. So if you have competitors of yours, just look at your competitors' review sites, review pages, and see what clients say about them, what they rave about. But again, don't look at the feature part, look at the underlying pain or goal. Hey, this new photo editing software made me edit all my 100 photos just in a few minutes. Well, apparently there's a pain that photo editing takes a long time, right? This is how you can deduce more pains. So again, we'll link an article and a nice questionnaire in the video description. So quickly going back. So this was buyer personas, and again, kudos if you've already added your first buyer persona, and don't stress out. I know this is a really hard exercise to do, but you don't have to do it again and again, because set it and forget it with GETitOUT. Start with one buyer persona, flesh that one really out, work off of that first buyer persona, and then in the future, once you grow, once you have more clients, then you can add more buyer personas later. So now, once we have this, it's time to build your benefits. And this is what we'll show you in the next video. And this is really fun because it's automatic. GETitOUT does it for you by combining your features with your buyer persona. So stick with me and we'll see us in the next video.